Hey everyone, and welcome to episode 3 of the Ascend Collective podcast, Build, Acquire, and Scale. In this episode, we're going to be talking about why your marketing doesn't work and exactly why it's your fault, which is part of our whole thing of defining reality. So, marketing pretty much always works for everyone, all the time. What generally fails are the following: execution, volume, and expectation. This is where most people struggle with marketing, okay? So, what happens is the most damaging belief I think all business owners have, I'm going to share some stories about this, is that marketing just doesn't work for them and they don't look at marketing as a skill. They look at it as luck and or talent, okay? So basically what we want to look at in this episode here is marketing works, why isn't it working for me? And the short answer is this: most businesses aren't doing enough of the right things for long enough, and it's as simple as that. So if we really look at the question that marketing doesn't work, would any business actually exist? And the question is no. Now, I want to give a little story here. So I worked, was brought to consult on for a business to get them more customers. Very simple. Kind of demand that they had there. And he wanted me to get them more customers, but the person's core belief was marketing doesn't work for me. It doesn't work on Google, and it doesn't work on Facebook, and social media marketing and digital marketing doesn't work. And my thought process was, why am I involved? Okay, like, why did you hire me if you already believe it doesn't work? So he invested a grand total of $40 into meta ads and then had decided that it didn't work. So he wanted me to do things like create billboards, to do email campaigns to existing clients, email launches to try and get more people in and try and get more people in from other ways. Yet he never really took action on any of it because he didn't believe it worked. So what happened is his business didn't grow, basically. And what I'd been looked at when I'd gone over this business's financial history is that their business financial history, they had got progressively less money every single year because marketing didn't work. Now, the question was, they just weren't doing enough marketing. So if we look at the whole thing that marketing doesn't work, okay, first of all, well, it does, because you can just look at thousands and thousands of businesses for proof of that. Now, what we want to define marketing is making people aware that you exist, okay? And if marketing didn't work, business wouldn't exist. So the real issue that we see with all businesses, and this business in particular, is unrealistic expectations and low repetition, okay? And I've seen this happen in multiple industries and multiple domains time and time again, is that most people think that they do one bit of marketing, one single thing, and that because it didn't work, marketing as a whole concept does not work or their business is not marketable. Now, it's really hard not to offend people when they are being special snowflakes with that, but if they were the only business, is it realistic that they're the only business in the world that marketing doesn't work? Particularly if you could look at other businesses in the exact same field and niche and see if they had marketing and if it was working for them, then their whole reality would be redefined, which is why I talk about redefining reality all the time. So the first thing and principle we need to learn about marketing is that volume beats perfection, okay? One post, one ad, one offer really proves nothing. I talked about last episode, maybe the first episode, it was the first episode, about one person I worked with who did one offer and he didn't get any clients from it and he decided offers didn't work, okay? Again, it's very frustrating. So when that happened there, it was basically this expectation, a belief system that as soon as he put out an offer, people will be knocking down the door. But realistically, you need to make offers all the time, post all the time, do ads all the time to get people to buy from you. Because realistically, back in the day, like a long time ago, it only took a couple of exposures to you to actually get people to buy. But now there's far more competition, there's far more noise. So we're looking at anywhere between 7 and 100 touch points before trust is built. And based on the service, that will change certain things again and again and again. So services that have a higher cost, for example, so high level consulting, for example, will require far more touch points versus getting someone to mow your yard. Okay, mowing your yard is pretty easy, low trust thing to sell. And the thing with marketing is that consistency compounds even when results feel invisible. Okay, so with that, we think that marketing is not working because what's happening there is we are basically not seeing an immediate return on investment on what we're doing. And that's the thing, it compounds all the time. We need to build it up again and again and again, and this compounds over time, and you then get better and better results. Now from here, the first offer, what most people do is they do their first offer and they freak out that it doesn't convert. And the downside of that is no awareness basically means that you've got a bad offer. So if you're not doing consistent marketing beforehand and you just try and basically put an offer out there, audiences aren't going to buy it because they're cold. They're not warmed up to you, okay? And the offer fails when the context is missing, not because they're bad, okay? So what I mean is making an offer to people to buy your stuff isn't a bad thing. It's just that the context is missing. Like, who are you? Why are you here? Why should I care? What are you going to do for me? And this is why we need to be consistent with our posting of social proof, of results, of testimonials, of what we can do to actually help people, because then the context is there. And then when we make an offer, if someone needs it, they're going to be much more likely to buy it, okay? So the marketing funnel, which is basically the process that someone goes through, is something that not many people explain. So I want to go through it today. So marketing goes through this funnel here: awareness, to familiarity, to trust, to conversion, to retention. And most businesses skip the first 3 steps. They want to basically get clients and then they want to keep them for a long period of time. And this impatience is going to kill the growth that you have. So with awareness, this is what I would call top of funnel marketing. This is basically putting your stuff out to the world, to the widest possible audience, to get eyes on you, okay? Now this doesn't necessarily have to be an offer. If it's a low trust, like low information purchase, such as lawn mowing, cleaning, etc., then awareness can often be enough just to get you sales in the door. Now, if it's a more high trust offer, coaching services, etc., then we need to build familiarity and trust. But both those things also help a great deal with selling the lower information purchases. Because as someone builds familiarity with your brand and what you do, the more they see you, the more they generally tend to trust you. So we need to make sure that every single business across the board is posting stuff and doing marketing consistently to create awareness that they exist, okay? Because most people don't know who you are, they don't care who you are, they don't know what you do, and they only want to know what you can do for them, okay? They need to build familiarity, so you need to be present and you need to be consistent all the time to basically tell the audience that you're real and you exist, okay? And they need to trust you, okay? So again, that consistency and that showing up every single day is basically how we build trust, and also demonstrating reliable, repeatable results again and again and again. That is what's going to lead to increased conversion and increased retention. And most people, they don't have that type of patience, so it kills their growth. They do 2 posts or 2 ads or whatever it is, and basically that's it, they're done because it didn't work, and therefore very special snowflake and marketing don't work for them, okay? And this is the thing with marketing, and this is something that I'll talk about again and again and again throughout my podcast, this podcast, is that marketing's a skill. It's not a trait, it's not a personality trait. So you don't have or not have marketing ability. You may have more of a predisposition to writing copy or more of a predisposition to making graphics. But writing, messaging, targeting, and offers are all very learnable skills. And avoidance often masquerades as skepticism that it doesn't work, and that's simply because you don't have the skills that you need to do to market, to bring people into your business. And this is something that a lot of people don't want to hear, but in reality, it is a lot of people don't know anything about marketing or how to do it, and to get a bigger audience to look at their products. And I do a lot of consulting for service-based businesses and service delivery for them. And they work with a whole bunch of other coaches and do a whole bunch of stuff, and they generally tend to leave after a while, after they work with us. And the reason why I say this is because we actually fix the bottleneck and the constraint they have, which is they don't have leads because they haven't done marketing. So if we look at the actual constraints and skills that you need for a business, which is marketing, which is sales, which is delivery, which is retention, and then also looking at your, what was the last one? Your systems and delegation, okay? If you fix that bottleneck, you can then move on to the next thing. And the vast majority of business owners are always going back to fix the problems that they already know how to solve, which is why when they actually get good marketing in their business, they're happy to let other things go because they're actually okay with the delivery, they're okay with all the other stuff. They just don't have enough leads in the door. So it's a skill deficit in the first place. So how do you tell if your marketing is failing and it isn't working for you? Okay, it's a really, really simple kind of structure that we want to go through here. The first one is, before you can say if your marketing isn't working for you, the first question is, are you consistent? One post every fortnight is not consistency. Okay, simple as that. It just isn't. It needs to be daily, in fact, multiple times daily. Marketing is a 24/7 objective in this world. So having a team, this is why big corporations have entire marketing departments of huge budgets, because getting people's attention is hard work. It requires a lot of work and a lot of volume, more volume than you think. Next one, are you measuring? Are you actually measuring the output from your marketing efforts? So a lot of people just go, oh, I didn't get a sale, but they didn't look at, did they grow their brand awareness? Did they get more followers? Did they get more inquiries, etc.? What did they actually get out of it? Because you will get something out of it. Even if you're looking at marketing from a content perspective, which piece performed better? Even though it may have not gotten you leads today, by doing more of what worked, you're going to get more leads tomorrow and more brand awareness. So it's not like every marketing piece has to bring in a sale. Marketing also needs to bring in brand awareness as well. Now, are you repeating? So are you repeating the same message that you need to have? This is something that a lot of business owners struggle with. They don't repeat the same message. And the reason they don't repeat the same message is because they're bored of hearing it. Now, our customers are not bored of hearing because they have no idea who the hell we are. So we need to basically repeat the message again and again and again and again until we're so sick and tired of it that just hearing the words makes us sick, okay? That's when it will start to work. If you can tolerate that boredom, you will win. And are you improving? Okay, so if it's not improving, it just means that you haven't refined the skills yet to the point that they need to be to make the wins that you want. It's not the marketing has failed, it's just that you haven't finished learning the skill. So, here's a kind of framework that I like to have to see if you're doing marketing or if you're guessing. And I'll give you some examples of it in real life. How many times have I actually made an actual offer? Okay, is the first one. I was working with an online coach who was doing their marketing business and they brought in 70 plus leads, but none of the actual leads they brought in for an offer. It was for a lead magnet. So it's not an offer. Simple. They have made 70 leads and made 0 offers. Okay? Very, very simple way to look at it. So quite often I will make offers on social media just saying, hey, I'm looking for X people who want to do this. I'm happy to help. Okay? So it's important that you do that. And again, if you're not making offers, none of this counts. Okay? Now the next one is how many people have seen it. So viewing your stats, are more people seeing it? Looking at the data and social media and Google advertising and everything else gives you a plethora of actual data points that you can look at to see if people have seen your stuff. And if they haven't seen it, okay, cool, you need to show it to more people, really easy. The next one is how long have I been consistent for? If you're expecting results in 1 week of marketing, you are dreaming, particularly if you're a purchase that you're selling something that has a high need for information. Okay, so again, if we were doing a domestic service, like taking out the trash or whatever it is, some kind of Fiverr, Upwork type thing, that type of stuff there, you just click on something and you'll buy it. It's really, really quick and really, really easy. Okay, very, very different. But it's a high information purchase. Okay, that customer requires a high amount of information to make sure it's the right thing that solves that problem. You need to be consistent for a long time to actually get the purchases that you want. And then, what did I change based on feedback? So if you have an ad that fails miserably, have you actually changed something in that ad to see if you can fix it? And there's an absolute framework in the blog series that we've got on how to lower customer acquisition costs. There's a framework on how to fix your ads. So I highly recommend you go to the Ascend Collective website and check that out. So the key takeaway that I kind of want to have for this, okay, is that marketing doesn't fail. Okay, it's more that undercommitment does. Okay, if marketing is not working for you, it's because you are not working your marketing hard enough. That is the rule of thumb. And the businesses that win aren't smarter. They're louder, clearer, and more consistent. To go back to the business that I talked about at the beginning of the podcast, they still haven't done any marketing. I haven't seen a single thing from them, and they're really damn good at what they do, and it's a shame. If they just demonstrated the proof of what they could do on a consistent basis to their customers and make offers to get people in the door, they would be far more successful. Unfortunately, a lot of business owners think that they're special snowflakes, and they're not. Every business can benefit from marketing. It's a universal principle, and if they could just do this, they would make more money by a significant portion. Unfortunately, we see this a lot of the time where people's ego gets in the way, and basically hearing something like this episode would make them very, very uncomfortable because they're not going to get the wins that they want to get unless they actually do some of the stuff themselves. So guys, thank you for listening again. Please subscribe to the podcast, comment, like, etc. Share it with your friends. It means the world to us. Any questions, let us know. Go to your website. If you need any help, drop me an email. Follow me on social media. And I'll see you at the next episode.